Okay, so trade recap for today. It's the end of the month, the end of February. I'm gonna call it a really good month. And let's go over the let's go over the trade today first, and then we'll take a look at the month, like our P&L. Unfortunately, today we lost. Not the end of the week that I wanted, but I'm gonna call this a very difficult week. However, we're still green on the week. We're 2-1 on the week, so it's like really good. The problem is the live account took a big hit because I might have over leveraged a little bit. I usually have risk on Fridays, but I decided not to in the live account just because it is a challenge. Therefore, the account balance is down $572, which puts us back like a pretty big amount. Or like back at 1100. That's okay though. Next week will be better trading, and we'll bring the account back up. But let's get into the trade and see what were the mistakes that were made today. So this is the trade I took. It's a pretty solid M formation here, based on a 15-minute Fairvalue Gap reaction and SMT, and then we had pretty clear previous day lows. But let's get into it and see why we took this trade. So first, obviously, as always, we go to the 4-hour time frame. What am I seeing here from yesterday's trading? From yesterday's trading, we are seeing overly bearish moves, and I felt like we had a lot of sell side liquidity here that clearly wanted to get taken out. Therefore, my mind was okay. There's no reason for us to be like bullish, right? I don't think that there's any reason why we would want to, see moves up before coming back down. I initially was okay with seeing a move up to take internal liquidity and then moving down. However, that ended up playing against our favor because we moved higher than I expected. So my buys coming in, like I said, was going down. I didn't think we were gonna come all the way up into here. I didn't think we were gonna go all the way up into here. But I did believe that there was gonna be a push up. So that's what happened. So we have previous day lows down here, which were basically my final objectives. I didn't think we were gonna go any lower than this. And going into the 15-minute, we can see, and I'll get rid of this for now. Going into the 15-minute, we can see a pretty clear for value gap right here, which was protecting the move lower. And in my mind, I was like, okay, you know what? If we're gonna be bearish, I want to see us respect this 15-minute gap. Sure, we have one up here, but I believe that if we truly want to be bearish, this should be a really strong confluence for us to use. Therefore, I decided to use it, just for that for the scenario. The problem is, I feel like maybe it wasn't the right one. We did have a 30-minute here where also what got respected. So like in reality, like all of this really matched up perfectly with what I wanted to see. I think delivery just wasn't quite there today. I think that because we did trade very strongly bearish overnight, that we could have expected a little bit of a retrace. I mean, we were in heavy discount, but I felt like our objectives were much more like important than us retracing back up, because if we truly wanted to retrace back up, we would see bullish moves immediately and go back up into this whole range. We wouldn't have seen Asia trade consolidation wise and then London continue lower, which led me to believe that we were just going to continue lower from New York. Now, going into the lower time frame, we can see on the 5-minute again, there's no fair value gaps here, but we do have like this whole range of bearish moves, which is the 50-minute gap, which kind of clearly like it kind of like clearly wanted to push us lower. However, let's go to the replay mode so we can see a little bit better here. However, as you can see, upon open, the market didn't really do much. Like we weren't really going anywhere. But we went up, we took out this high, I believe in the next two candles. We took out this high, we formed a 1-minute gap. I'm like, perfect. This is setting up for a really good M, because I want to see a move down, a move up, and then another move down. I like it's just like the classic, like I'll call this like almost an A+ setup. At the same time, we had an SMT with ES from this high to this high, which kind of added even more into why the trade could have been good. As we can see, 1 minute kind of followed. And yes, I did take this trade before my usual 945 opening range move. But once I saw the following move come down, I like the idea of us retracing back up, forming that like initial higher high and then forming a lower low, breaking structure to the downside, which we did end up doing, which is really good. And we did it in such a clean fashion. We make a higher high, we sweep the internal liquidity, and then we make a strong move down in three very swift candles right here. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is clearly wanting to go down. Stops above the high because I don't want us to trade above this, and it also matched up with a 15-minute for leg. If we did want to tap into it, and then I did make a mistake here because so what happened is I messed up my trade copying because I wanted to pass my evals, and that's like 100% on me. I should have just trade copied everything, and I should have been smart because we had these two lows, which are clearly pretty protected lows, given that we didn't take them before. ES had already taken them, and I know that this is a very close break even. I just didn't see how this was like in my mind. I really didn't think this wasn't going to go lower, even if it was chopping around, because what I didn't want to happen is I didn't want us to come down into here, take this out, come back up, and then continue lower. Because it was also so close to my entry that it just didn't really make any sense. Therefore, I didn't end up, taking break even there. But obviously, in retrospect, I should have. A reasonable break even, I would probably have gone I would probably would have gone break even after we made this following low. So like right here, for example. We make this low. If I had seen a retrace back up into this range, which looked really good, I probably would have gone break even once we saw a clean closure below this low right here. That would have been like a pretty reasonable and understandable break even. However, we didn't get it, which is perfectly fine. Initially, this trade looked really good, but I feel like because it's Friday again, I risk half, and this is the reason why. I mean, we have what I would call a perfect setup. This is something that I would be willing to risk a lot, even 2R because I'm so confident in it, but because it's Friday, because we made a strong move, and because we had these internal lows, price that ended up delivering to the to buy side. We got taken out immediately, and from there we just kind of chopped around. Like we weren't really going anywhere. There weren't any many entries, if not any entries for buy side. And as you can see, we're just kind of going sideways for the rest of the day. I wouldn't be surprised if we just go sideways. Um, because it's Friday, it's the end of the week. We've made pretty big moves this week. We've made moves right here. This is from Tuesday. So we made pretty strong moves up and down. So for us to believe that we're going to continue lower, I guess, was a little bit of wishful thinking, but the price action was there. Like we saw it. It presented itself. Like it all happened. Unfortunate loss, nothing else I can say, but we have to look at the grand scheme of things. At the beginning of the month, I started with $100. And now, sure, did I have $1,700 today? Yeah, okay, I took a big loss, but I still have $1,100 to trade with. Like that's a really big win for a single month. If you do the math, with this month doing that, if we do the same thing next month, that's at 10K. Boom, we have 10K in 2 months, just like that. So in that sense, really, really positive. And now I want to show you the P&L for the month so you can see that I'm actually not like that I am actually being honest in the sense of, we've had a really solid month. We started, obviously, I passed my evals here, but we started here. This is technically even more green just because I did trade like green Monday, green Tuesday, and then the week before that I traded green to pass the evals. But we had first green week, second green week. Every single week we've been green. We haven't had a single red week. Or sorry, we had one red week here, but it was a pretty minimal red week. This, third week made up for everything. And then this week, which has been very, very difficult, we still are green. We are up a lot. We're actually up like $1,000 in the week. So I really can't complain. And this also is going to cover like, the 25th and 26th. There were no trading, like there was no real trades to be taken. Price action was not great. Like it was just not really there. But that's fine. Like it's not a big deal. We're gonna have days like that. I don't think I'm gonna make trade recaps on days like that just because it's not really worth it. And if I do, I probably just do it on Discord, not really on YouTube. And now I want to show you finally on Discord, what I post every single day. I can see that I had told you like I had a pretty clear bias and direction. I saw the trade, or sorry, this is like a pre-market trade. I saw the trade before it even happened, and I called it out right here. Obviously, I got entered short much higher. By the time this happened, it was already way too fast. Therefore, couldn't go break even. But like I said, high risk on Fridays and then post at the end of the month. And on here, you can see every single trade that I've taken. You can see from yesterday, for example, which we didn't take a trade. It's just we never had the price action. Okay, we didn't get anything. We didn't get any confirmations. We didn't get anything. I wasn't in any trades or anything of that regard. But yeah, obviously this Discord is 100% free for everybody. I mean, all my information's out there for free. So if you want to join, there's a link in the description. If you don't have WAP in your country, you can DM me directly and I'll add you to Discord. My goal for this is just like to build a community that trades very similarly to that I do, so I can learn and I can teach you guys everything that I'm learning at the same time. Okay. Really solid end of the month again. Can't complain whatsoever. So yeah. I'll leave it at that, and I'll catch you guys on Monday's trade recap. There's more content coming out today and tomorrow about my trading strategy, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.